Hey, what's up guys? It's August 9th, about 10:30 in the morning. I just put in the Allegheny River in Warren, PA. It's about 2.5 hours out of Pittsburgh. I just dropped my car off at Allegheny Outfitters. They're going to shuttle my car downstream for me. We've got some really good weather today. The water is clear, and I'm really looking forward to a night outside. I have my skirt on here because it's the Allegheny is a Class 1 river, but there is a set of rapids, unclassed rapids, but the lady at Allegheny Outfitters, I don't know. I just want to stay dry right now. To be honest, that was more excitement than I had anticipated for the Allegheny River, but I think that's about it as far as active water. So the plan here is to it's going to be a 16-mile trip. Sue at Allegheny Outfitters, who was very nice, told me it's to expect like between 2 and 3 miles an hour paddling. My goal is to do half the distance today, half tomorrow. There's an island called Krull's Island that is known to have some good camping sites on it. If those are called for, if those spots are taken, there's another island right after it called Thompson's Island, which also has some camping. So right now I'm just paddling through the city of Warren. Really, this is a cute little town, but I'm looking forward to getting away from the noise and the people. I'd say it's about time to take this skirt off though. Don't need it anymore. They are calling for rain tomorrow, so I'm glad that I brought my skirt. I also have a dry top in the event that I have to paddle through the rain. But highs are in the 80s, I think. High 70s, low 80s. Lows are in the low 60s, so perfect camping weather. A couple of years ago, my sister got me this book, Allegheny River Paddling Guide, and I've kind of been following it. It's a nice little resource to have, I guess. So I've been following it as I've been paddling. It gives you like paddling times, estimated paddling times and distance and information about the area. But so like I said, I've been following it, and it's about quarter after noon, and I'm coming up on an island called Mead Island, and apparently the water that I'm paddling through right now was dredged, and it's like 50 feet deep. And the lady at the library said that, you know, there've been a couple people that drowned here because of the currents that are underneath. But she gave me a heads up and said, you know, if you want to go swimming, there's a little pond on the island. So I think I'm going to check that out. So this is definitely a surprise. I was expecting like a little pond, you know, and it's more like a lake. Water's really clear. It's like surprisingly clear. It's bath water warm. But how cool is that? Anyways, it's 1:45, and I'm a little hungry, so I think I'm gonna get a little lunch in me before I finish the day's paddle. There's a nice little picnic area that they've set up here. It's like a fire pit, picnic table, river's right over here. I like that spicy bean dip so much from my last trip that I brought it again for today. So, you know. Fire up some water now and get lunch going. I never pass up a chance to swim in a new swimming hole. So rather than try to scoop this bean dip out with chips, I brought Fritos. Figured I'd crumble them up and put them in there. This is probably one of my favorite dehydrated lunches. So, I'm looking at this pamphlet here, this book. And it looks like about another hour and a half of paddling before I get to that island. I've taken it real chill. I wasn't. I didn't really feel up to doing this trip. This was actually, it wasn't supposed to be the Allegheny, but one good thing about paddling here is that you don't have to worry about water levels because it's dam controlled. Upriver, I don't know, 10 miles or so, there's the Kinzu Dam. So you can paddle this year round. But I was going to do another trip, and those water levels weren't high enough. And this morning I woke up and just felt like I felt pretty wretched. And I was kind of questioning whether I wanted to come and do this or not. I had like real bad body aches and sneezing, and I decided that come tomorrow I'd be happier if I went camping than if I didn't. So I'm kind of powering through it, just taking it easy on the water. But I am glad that I decided to come out. So I'm gonna finish my lunch, pack everything back up, and hit the water again. Let's see, it's 10 after 1. I'd like to try to make it to camp by 4. Is just really pretty. Well, guess I have to wiggle my way back over that over those branches. Okay. I still have quite a ways to go. I've been kind of putzing around, and that's fine. Starting to cool off a little bit, but I certainly look forward to calling it a day with the paddling. Started at 10:30. It's a little bit past 2:30 now, and I mean, I've taken some breaks here and there and done some filming, but this is not the flow of the river doesn't help much, and I'm facing a bit of a headwind, so if I was to stop paddling, I would just stop. Been on the water for about 5 hours now. The book said it would take 4, and I've certainly putzed around for more than 5, so I'm pretty pleased with my pace. I'm coming up on Crowell's Island right now, which will be home for the evening as long as no one else is there. I'm looking forward to getting off the water for a bit. It's been a pretty steady paddle the entire time, but that's one of the reasons why I like to paddle. Arm day. Alright, so made it to Crowell's Island. Found this just incredible spot here right on the water. Again, this would be a good spot for tents, multiple people. I mean, there's a big fire pit over there, and I took a walk down the river a little ways to see if there's anything better, but I think I'm going to be able to hang my hammock like right on the water here, and the other spots I found don't really have that going on for them. There is a rope swing though, so some firewood already cut up. This is great. So I'm going to get unloaded and get camp set up. Finally got camp set up, pretty much. I took my time. I put up a ridge line for the hammock. All I have though is paracord, and I know it'll stretch, but I think it will at least maybe give me some sort of an idea of the difference that a ridge line can make in the lay of the hammock. It took me a little bit to figure out how to set the entire system up with the ridge line, but the good thing is that if I end up using it regularly, I don't need the extra line to hang up the bug net. So that's good. I processed all the firewood I think I'll need, and just kind of putzed around camp. It's 5:45 now. Still pretty humid and hot, so I think I'm gonna cool off for a little bit and have some dinner. Something that I used to do, and I don't know why I stopped doing it, but I used to hang all my dry bags from a line. I have a bunch of these night eyes. There we go. Night eyes figure 9 beaners, and I just hook the tooth part on the paracord and clip my dry bags in like that. I don't know why I stopped doing it, but I figured since I was cutting up that paracord to try the ridge line out, I might as well get back into the habit of doing that, because I do want to try to be more organized when I do stuff like this, because you know it's a lot of work. Excuse me, it's a lot of work to there's a lot that goes into camping, especially with all the camera gear that I bring to make videos. This way it'll keep it up off the ground and just kind of keep everything in one spot. So I went to filter some water, and I was reminded that the Sawyer Squeeze and Sawyer Mini only fit on certain water bottle tops, like Smart Water. I knew this, and yet anyways, so I tried just kind of holding it like this real tight and squeezing the water out into my cup so that I could measure water for my dinner, and it makes a mess, and it's a lot of work. It works, so worst come worst, I can do that. But what I think I'm gonna try, I'm going to use my knife and hollow out the mouthpiece, and hopefully this part of the filter, that little male part, will be able to fit into that hole tight enough to make it more efficient than just holding the filter on there. So we'll give it a go. And success. So I hollowed out the mouthpiece. This fits snugly in there. Snug enough that it only comes out of the mouthpiece and not around the seal. Very good. For dinner tonight, I'll be having Mountain House Mexican style rice and chicken. I've not had this before, and I haven't read any reviews on it, but we'll find out here as soon as the water starts boiling. Gotta love the feeling of getting into some clean, dry clothes. I hate walking around with wet feet and wet clothes on. Feels good when the water's cold, but after a while, I've had these Keens for 2 or 3 years now, and they haven't held up too well. I mean, stitching's coming undone on the heel strap, and that's all good, but they, for the entire time that I've owned these things, they have had an odor. And they're supposed to have, like, this, it says anti-odor anatomic footbed and all this stuff, but they stink. Not when they're wet, but like when they're dry. So it's time. I'd like to get some new paddle shoes and new camp shoes. I have like real hiking boots, but for stuff like this, I just wear shoes that I don't care about. These are just some Reeboks that I don't wear in public. But anyways, let's give this a try. Sorry about me sniffling. Still not feeling too great. I mean, I don't feel super sick, but just like a general malaise. That's pretty good. It's got tomatoes, peppers, and olives in it. The chicken rehydrates pretty all right. I've heard that ground beef, like if you do it yourself, if you dehydrate ground beef yourself, it can, when you rehydrate it, it doesn't rehydrate too well. But I would like to try doing some more dehydrated meals myself. Not that these aren't good. I just want to do them myself. So I'm going to eat my dinner, relax for a little bit, enjoy the solitude, and have a bit of a fire in a little bit. I used to carry like a family-sized can of bug spray, and last time I was at REI, I guess it wasn't the last time, but recently I got this small like pump bottle. It's 14 mLs, I think, of 40% DEET. This guy, and it's nice because it doesn't take up nearly as much room in my kit, but it was good for like 2 applications. So I'm gonna have to stock up on these next time I head to the store. So, usual fire. I start by sort of feathering a piece of fat wood. I'm not very good at the technique, and I end up like just cutting huge chunks off. I always put something down to set the fat wood on. The longer piece Another longer piece. And I was lucky enough to find plenty of birch bark. So I probably didn't even need the fat wood, but I got it. I'll be surprised if I didn't just smother that. And of course, all of that smoke is going right to my hammock. Thought I'd take a little hike through the island. I don't want to go far because the fire's still going, but I noticed that there's a bunch of foot trails, and I don't think they're game trails. I mean, they're pretty worn, but they could be game trails. I don't know how big this island is. I'm sure it says in that book, but yeah, I think these are game trails. They're getting a little. You see, they're getting a little less shin friendly. Should know better than to not bring a pair of actual pants, long pants. But I didn't bring any, so which is okay because I can't go that far anyways. So I've just been listening to podcasts and kind of zoning out. It's been nice. I will probably be calling it an early evening, but not for a while. I still have dessert to eat. Well, I'm just wrapping up my day here. It's 8 o'clock. I like to finish the day with raspberry crumble. I love this stuff. I would eat it at home. Still have to go around this site and pick up all the garbage from dinner and continue to get stuff organized before crawling into the hammock. So I was taking a look at this book. Today we did 10 miles, and tomorrow is another 6 to Wildwood. We will pass. Will we pass Thompson's Island? We will. We'll pass Thompson's Island, and according to this book, The island is 67 acres with an exceptionally fine riverine forest, according to the Forest Service. It's home to Pennsylvania's tallest sycamore tree at 140 feet and the tallest known silver maple in the world at 128.9 feet. Whether those are still standing or not, I don't know. This was made 4 years ago. So, anyways, check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my dessert and call it a night. And I hope all of you are enjoying your respective nights this evening. And I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. Good morning. It's about 6:30. Slept really good last night. At about 2 o'clock it started raining pretty good. But I was able to fall right back to sleep. Thought maybe I'd have to get up and move my kayak because it's down by the water, but I was able to see it, and I pulled it plenty far up, so feeling pretty alright this morning as far as being ill. A little congested, but that's about it. So I've been up for about half an hour just laying here kind of deciding if I wanted to get awake or not. But I guess it's time. It's a beautiful morning out there. So I'm in no particular rush to get out of camp. I'm gonna try to start a fire and have some coffee. I don't usually eat breakfast, but I might try to eat something. Even at home, I don't eat breakfast. I take a smoothie with me to work. I make these spinach smoothies at home. So I don't know, like, I sleep pretty comfortably in this thing, but this part of the hammock, I don't know, it might just, I'm gonna have to play around with it in a park or something and see. So I was considering other hammocks for next year, but because this is the only, this and the bug netting. The bug net, like, you know, fits snug up against the hammock, and bugs can bite through it. Maybe if I soak the hammock in permethrin. Anyways, I hope you guys had a nice evening last night. Time for coffee. This really is a great way to start the day. It's supposed to rain on and off today, so after I'm done with my coffee, I'm gonna break down camp, and I'm gonna try to let the things that got rained on, like dry bags and that tarp, I'm gonna try to let those dry out as much as I can before packing them up. But the rest of it, I'm gonna try to get moving soon. I have some stuff. I have like a dry top and and my skirt, so I should be able to stay plenty dry if it starts raining while I'm on the water. On the water, it's 8:30 a.m. Real chill paddle this morning. There were a couple other people on the island I passed, but I didn't notice them till this morning, so that's good. Appreciate a respectful neighbor. It's about a 2-hour paddle to the car. I'm gonna look in the book and see how far Thompson's Island is from here, and just kind of take it easy. Have my rain gear ready just in case it should start raining. That way that way I don't have to get out of the boat to stay dry. Been kind of taking it easy this morning. It's 9:45. I stopped on Thompson's Island briefly, but there was no blazed trails, and I don't feel like killing my ankles or shins this morning, so I did skip breakfast. I just couldn't work up an appetite enough to eat a whole meal. However, I am starting to get a little hungry now. So I'm gonna give this a little early for dessert, but it's never too early for dessert. A astronaut vanilla ice cream sandwich. Freeze-dried, ready-to-eat space food. Let's see here. It's packaged like a regular ice cream sandwich. Kind of broken up. Looks just like an ice cream sandwich. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. This is the way to go. Too early for dessert. Huh. This legit tastes just like an ice cream sandwich. So, anyways, I stopped at Thompson's Island, and I wanted to see those two trees, but there was no blazed trails, and I don't know, I'm not very good at identifying different kinds of trees, so since none of the trees stood out all that much, I wouldn't have known what to look for anyways. Another great trip in the books. It's about 10:30 and my takeout is right around the next corner. Thank you guys for watching. I really enjoy making these videos. I hope you enjoy watching them. I have a couple more ideas in the works right now, so I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks again.